All right, here's our boy Michael Malone. Awesome guy, awesome head coach, and he's fired. Denver Nuggets went ahead and fired Mike Malone. I think it was really early this morning or last night, but yeah, they told him it's been a great 10 years we've shared together, Mike. I've loved all the time I spent with you. It's not you, it's us, it's our fault, and make sure you get all of your shit out of your locker by the time practice is over today. I'm sure that's pretty much how it went down. But I was really confused when this news came out. A lot of people were confused as well. Did not really see this coming, so I did some investigating. I know Denver hasn't been playing their best lately, but I wouldn't so much blame that on Michael Malone. It's more the supporting cast around Jokic is not very great. Jamal Murray's been out, so it's tough for them to get anything really good going. But anyway, in the last 10 games, Denver has lost 7 of their last 10 games, so they're 3-7, and that's a bad stretch to have at any time of the season, but it came at the worst time because if they would have been taking care of business these last 10 games, they could be fighting to be in the 3 seed, and that's where they're probably expecting to be, somewhere around the 3 or the 4 seed. But you see here in the standings, just a gigantic logjam in the West. So right here, Denver, the Clippers, Golden State, Minnesota, and Memphis, they all have 32 losses. So that's 5 different teams with 32 losses. So at this point, Denver's closer to dropping down into the 8 seed. If Memphis, Minnesota, Golden State, and LA, if they all win out, and then Denver loses one more game, with these teams winning the rest of their games, they're going to drop down all the way to the 8 seed. So they were fighting for the number 2 seed just a few weeks ago, and then, they go 3-7, they drop down a bit, and now, it's crazy they're in a position to be in the play-in tournament, and that's just unacceptable for a team this good to have the best player in the world. And, the front office is just looking and thinking we should not be, even in the discussion to be in the play-in tournament. And it looks like with the way things are going now, I mean, if you look, Memphis is 3-7 over their last 10. So is Denver, but the Clippers are 8-2, Golden State 7-3, Minnesota 7-3. So Clippers, Golden State, and Minnesota, they're all heating up. They're going in the right direction, and I don't expect their hot streak to just fall off. You never know; they might lose the rest of their games, but they're looking good right now. So it seems more likely that Denver, drops down into that 7 or 8 seed, depending on what Memphis does, and then they're in the play-in tournament, which nobody would have thought would happen. Having the best player in the world on your team. Again, I don't think this firing is so much all about Michael Malone. Real quick, Michael Malone, this would have been his 10th season with the Nuggets if he would have finished these last 3 or 4 games, however many games are left, but he didn't quite get there. But he's 471 and 327 for his win-loss record with Denver. That's a 59% win record over those 10 seasons he was there. He's the winningest coach in the history of the Nuggets. No coach on Denver's ever won more games than Michael Malone. He's 44 and 36 in the playoffs, so his playoff record is really good as well. Won a championship with Denver. He has 798 games as the Nuggets head coach, and like I said, I don't think it's about Michael Malone and him not doing a good job or anything like that. This is more a front office thing. Again, Michael Malone's been there. This would have been the 10th season in a row he's been there, but now he's fired, of course. We didn't quite get to 10 seasons, but they just had to shake things up. I guess they did win the championship, but since then they've been kind of stagnant, and I wouldn't blame that on Mike Malone. I think it's more a front office thing, not getting the help that you need around Jokic. But I was doing some digging to kind of see what was going on because in my head I was just thinking, man, Jokic's teammates have been injured for a lot of the season. They've had a lot of injuries on the Nuggets, and that's why they haven't been so good. But if you really look at it, that's not really true. Jokic has played the 67 games, so he's missed some games, but nothing really crazy. Jamal Murray's played 65, which is a good amount of games played. He's not going to play the rest of the season, but 65 games, I think he'll take that from any of your players if they can hit that 65 game threshold. That's decent availability. Jamal Murray's out right now with his hamstring injury, and the hamstrings are always really tricky. They can be really sensitive. If you go back too soon, it might still be tense. Then you could end up tearing your hamstring, and it's way worse. But again, Jamal Murray has played the 65 games. Michael Malone was talking about his injury a few days ago before he had been fired, and he was saying Hopefully Jamal will be back for the playoffs. Hopefully he'll be back. They were saying he's going to come back in a week or two, probably a week or two ago. Then the injury turned into a day-to-day injury, and now they're just saying, man, hopefully he'll be okay for the playoffs. But nobody really knows. But that's not Michael Malone's fault. Michael Porter Jr., 74 games. Christian Braun, 76. Christian Braun's always available, though. Aaron Gordon, 48 games. So Aaron Gordon's a big part of what they do. They need him to be out there, so that definitely hurt them with Aaron Gordon only being able to play 48 games. But Westbrook gives you 72 games. Strother gives you 63. Watson gives you 65. So as far as their main rotation, it's not like the injury bug just totally decimated them. They did have some injuries, but wasn't anything insane to necessarily derail their season. I know they've really been hurting without Jamal Murray, especially at this stretch since he's been out, but the hamstring injuries are just so sensitive. They're trying to make sure he gets right, but in my eyes, they just feel like they're wasting Jokic's prime, and it's not Michael Malone's fault. They're not saying so much, hey, it's all your fault. We got to get Michael Malone out of here. He's not a competent head coach. He's definitely a great head coach. He's going to have no problem getting a job somewhere else, but Jokic, I feel like he's 35 or 36 years old just watching him play. I don't know if it's his play style. It just feels like he's been around the league for a long time with all the stuff he does and how good he is. But Jokic just turned 30 in February, so he's right in the middle of his prime. With his play style, he can keep putting up these kind of numbers until he's 35, maybe even beyond that, because he doesn't play an athletic game. It's all about skill and basketball IQ. So, I can easily see him these next 5 years putting up, I'm not going to say the same numbers as he has, but comparable numbers. And he'll probably be the best player in the NBA at least the next 2 or 3 years. We'll see how Wemby develops and see what else happens. Maybe Anthony Edwards takes a giant leap. Maybe SGA keeps getting better and better. But, in my eyes, Jokic is going to be the best player in the NBA at least these next 2 or 3 years. So Nuggets went ahead and fired Mike Malone, I feel like, just to shake things up and just get a fresh head coach in there with Jokic. They're planning on letting go of their general manager as well. That had been reported. So, they're just trying to clean house and get a fresh staff around Nikola Jokic and see if that new energy can get them going again. But like I was saying, it's not Michael Malone's fault. The GM's more to blame than anybody, honestly, because I feel like they won the championship with Jokic and Murray, and they felt like, our team's good. This is the core we need to win championships. And I feel like Murray just played way above his means, if that makes sense. He's a really good player, but in the championship run, he was just on a crazy hot streak to go along with Jokic, and they end up winning the championship. But then they just got kind of comfortable. They haven't made any major moves since they won the championship. They kind of have a similar core. I know Kentavious Caldwell Pope is gone, but they still have a similar core to what they had when they won the championship. So, when a team gets stagnant, there's kind of one of two things you can do. You can either trade your star player and try to rebuild, or get a different star player and see if that works better. But there's no way that Denver would ever trade Nikola Jokic. That would never make any sense with him being the best player in the NBA. So the next thing they look at is, man, we got to fire the head coach. They fire Mike Malone. They're planning on getting rid of their general manager and getting a new general manager, which I feel like would be a good idea, so they can try to get some better pieces around Nikola Jokic, because in my opinion, they don't get him enough help. I mean, he has some decent players around him, some decent role players. You can call Jamal Murray a star. I wouldn't call him a superstar. Michael Porter's very good. Christian Braun's very good. Aaron Gordon's very good. Westbrook's still a really good player. But it's all more fringe star players, or just really good role players. Jamal Murray's the only guy you can call a star. I wouldn't call him a superstar. He really isn't. And then Jokic is the only superstar talent on the team. So I don't know what their plan is, but Michael Malone just got fired, not because he's doing a bad job or he's not an excellent head coach, because he definitely is an excellent head coach. Like I was saying again, over the past 10 seasons, he has a 59% winning percentage with the Nuggets, and then what was it? He's 44 and 36 in the playoffs for his playoffs record. So, he performs well in the regular season. He performs well in the playoffs. They won a championship, but since they won the championship, it feels like everything got kind of stagnant, and they've made no leaps after winning the championship. And usually, once you win a championship, you can't just come back with the exact same team. You can come back with the kind of the same core, but you have to add some different players, shake things up a little bit, and it just has become really obvious that Jokic doesn't have the help he needs to make it back to the finals, especially with him putting up these insane numbers. He's 30 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals basically. He's putting up these insane numbers that we've just never seen in NBA history. And for him to be having a season like this and then be at risk of landing in the 8 seed or the 7 seed and playing a play-in game to even make it into the playoffs, they had to put the blame on someone. I'm still really surprised they just put the blame on Michael Malone. They fired him. They plan on firing the general manager as well and just getting a fresh coach, a fresh GM, around Jokic and the Nuggets for next season. We'll see. We'll see which way they go with their new GM and if they're going to make any offseason moves. I feel like they definitely have to make some offseason moves, see who they can acquire. I don't know who they'd be planning on trading or who they'd be planning on acquiring, but this team as it's constructed, they're not a championship team anymore, and I think it's pretty clear to see. I think we all see it, and you know, Denver's ownership obviously sees it as well. So they went and got rid of Mike Malone. They're going to get rid of the GM because, like I said before, the other option would be getting rid of Jokic and starting to rebuild or trying to get another star player. But you have the best player in the NBA, and they just wanted to make a move to show Jokic, hey, we're trying to get a new coach around you. We're trying to change the general manager so we can put better pieces around you. From ownership standpoint, they just want to show Jokic, we're still all in on winning. I don't think Jokic made a fuss. It doesn't seem like he would do that. I don't think he went behind Michael Malone's back or the GM's back and was telling ownership, hey, you got to get rid of these guys. I can't win with these guys. But with that being said, I feel like Jokic, in the back of his head, he was kind of thinking, this team is not going to win me a championship. I need more help around me. I don't think he was thinking, I specifically need another head coach, but this is the move that ownership made to show Jokic, hey, we're still all in. We still want to win championships with you. We're going to get you a new head coach. We're going to get you a new GM for the team, and then try to build a better team around you that can really compete for a championship. Because, like I was saying, Denver obviously sees it. We all see it. This team is not a championship team right now. Jokic is still the best player in the NBA. SGA will probably win the MVP, but that's a different discussion. But I don't think anyone, for the most part, would argue that Jokic is still the best player in the NBA. You just got to build a better team around him and don't waste his prime years because he just turned 30 in February and still the best player in the NBA. Like I said before, he's 30 years old, so the next 5 years are still going to be his prime, basically. He doesn't play an athletic play style, just all basketball IQ and skills and footwork. So he can continue this play style for the next 5 years. I don't know if his numbers are going to be as insane as they are this season because it's just ridiculous, but he can still give you insane numbers and be the number one option on a championship team. But he just doesn't have the team built around him right now. If Jamal Murray was there and healthy, maybe it would be different. But they have no timetable at this point on his hamstring injury. It's day to day, and they don't want to put him back in there too soon. Then I don't wish this on anybody, but maybe he tears his hamstring or he injures it even further, and that's definitely what they don't want. But really surprising to see Denver fire Michael Malone. I didn't see it coming, but after it happened, I can understand it. Because when I first saw it, I was thinking, man, it's just the injury bug. It's the injuries. That's why the Nuggets haven't been good this season. But right here, when you look through everybody with their games played, only Aaron Gordon has missed a really significant amount of time. He only played 48 games all season. But I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's really their main 8-person rotation. DeAndre Jordan as well. He's only played 53, but he gets some shine out there as well. But I mean, that 8-9-man rotation is basically what they'd be playing in the playoffs. And, it's not a humongous injury bug, like I said. Just Aaron Gordon's missed a lot of time. Jamal Murray just got injured at the worst time, and that kind of seems like a reoccurring thing with Jamal Murray, unfortunately. This season, he did give you the 65 games, but availability has been a problem for him. So I feel like the new GM is probably going to look to move Jamal Murray if he can. He's going to definitely look look to shake things up and, I wouldn't say build an entirely new team around Jokic, but make some major moves and try to get him a star player, a superstar player next to him because he's just too good to be, basically wasting some of his prime years away like they are right now. But please comment below what you think about Michael Malone getting fired, what you think about, Jokic's prime years right now, and if you think he has a supporting cast around him to compete for championships. Again, it would look different if Jamal Murray was healthy right now, but he's been healthy a lot of the year. Denver has looked good, but I haven't taken them serious as a championship contender for at least the past month or so, especially with Jamal Murray's injury. But even if he was in there, I don't think that would be enough to get out of the West. So we'll just have to see what the new GM does, what the new coach does once they hire him. See if they play some crazy new style of offense. I don't think they will because Jokic is really the entire system. But just let me know what you think about what direction the Nuggets are about to go in. Please like and subscribe as well. I'm at a big 35 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of the week.